Should a business owner invest outside of their business? So I was on Facebook recently, and like you, I'm sure, I'm in a lot of different groups with business owners some are at wildly successful levels, others are very early in their journey. And one particular Facebook group, there was a post that stood out to me and made me go, yes, I want to talk about that on the podcast. So let me share what was said. It was posted by a guy named Nick, and he said, "Is anyone here also running a really successful business? Do you do a lot of investing outside of your business? This isn't a topic I normally see when we're talking about marketing, but I think it's an important topic when you have to decide what to do with the extra money you're making. I'd love to hear what some of you are doing. What's worked? What hasn't? What do you like to do? I'm always looking for good ideas to expand what I can invest in to outside of my business." So the answer to the question of, should a business owner be investing outside of the business is yes, in my opinion. The better question is, at what point in my business journey should I be looking at investing outside of the business rather than investing in the business solely? If you're in the early stages of your business journey, you're still figuring out your business model, you're still basically trying to get recurring cash in your business. If you're not paying yourself a regular salary, then you shouldn't be looking at investing outside of your business. The first investment you want to make in your business is getting your business to be profitable and a consistent cash generator. Once it's profitable and paying you a livable salary, and then you've got excess money, and that's consistently happening month after month after month, year after year after year, that's the point you want to go, okay, now I need to start taking some of this money off the table outside of my living costs. I need to take some money out of the business to invest in other areas. Now, you don't want to take all the excess money out of your business because you need to continue to invest in your business to grow, to hire new people, to invest in strategies and marketing techniques and researching new business models and things you might need to pivot into. So you need to keep some money in the business. You're never going to take everything out of the business. If you do that, you're setting yourself up for the business to fail. But once you've got excess cash on a regular basis, this is when you want to go, okay, I'm taking it out and I'm going to put it into other asset classes. Now, so let's talk about it. One of his questions here was, what's worked, what hasn't? Well, for me, what's worked has been property. I have residential property and commercial property. I can do a future episode talking about the pros and cons of that if you like. I also invest in the share market. I have specific shares, individual shares that I own, as well as broad-based index ETFs, exchange traded funds, but they're tracking an index. So that's a super easy strategy. It's very set. It can be very set and forget. Whereas property, while it can be set and forget if you're using buyer's agents and property managers, there's still a little bit more upkeep than say just a regular investment into an ETF, for example. You can also do lending. You can peer-to-peer lending to others. You can invest in other businesses. So to get diversification of your wealth and to protect you, because that's what we're talking about here. Why, you might be going, well, why should I be investing outside of my business? Is if you've been in business long enough, you will have a business that fails. It could even be a very wildly successful business today, but something changes that's out of your control. Or you make a decision that ultimately sends you on a path that puts the business in a not great position. Eventually, it could need replacing. The business might die, you might sell it. In whatever situation, you'll end up in a place where you're like, if all my wealth was in this business and this business has failed or this business no longer exists in my world, now I have no wealth, I have no cash. Like, for example, a lot of business owners, I hear them, in my experience, they go to sell their business. So the small business owners, majority of the people I meet, if they sell their business, even a successful business, they're lucky to pocket $5 million or less. And $5 million, don't get me wrong, you take $5 million, you pay some tax on it, and then you put that, let's say, just in a very simple thing like the index funds, and you work on the 4% rule, you're going to make maybe about $100,000 a year cash flow, which is okay. But that $4 million, it disappears very quickly. Like, it's not really giving you what you ultimately need. It's not giving you that real wealth. Whereas if you keep that business that you could sell for 5 million, and you continue to build assets outside of the business in property and shares in other people's businesses and other businesses that you choose to buy, ultimately, if and when you go to sell your main cash generating business, you can use that to potentially pay down the debts and do other things in your already built investment portfolio. And that will have a far bigger impact on your overall wealth than if you just sold the business and then you go and invest in other things. So I guess what I'm saying there is, if you've thought, I will invest in other assets once I sell my business and I've got a big cash injection, you're thinking about it the wrong way. You want to start building those other assets outside of the business so that if and when you choose to sell the business, you can apply that into your already existing investment portfolio rather than it being the start of your investment portfolio. So I want to wrap this episode up. I don't want to go too long. Ultimately, should a business owner invest outside of their business? The answer is yes. The question to ask yourself is, what stage of business am I in? Am I in that self-employed level where my business is all about me? And even outside of where you are in, self-employed, manager, leader, investor, that freedom model that I talk about, the next question is really, what is my cash flow position? Am I generating consistently excess cash flow that I need to live, and the business needs to have fueling it to continue to grow? If you've consistently got cash flow, start taking it out of the business. Just putting it aside, putting it into something simple if you need to start with something simple like shares, or saving for a deposit for a property, or I can't tell you specifically what you should do in your situation. Seek some financial advice, but more importantly, seek education. Continue to educate, read books, find mentors, go to seminars, upskill your knowledge about different asset classes outside of business. You don't need to know how to do it. You want to focus on business because that's what you're good at. But you also want to ensure that you've got some knowledge about where to put the money. So definitely you should be investing outside of your business. Start small. If you're doing something that's not property, you can start with $500 a month, $1,000 a month. Just start building something outside of the business, as long as investing outside of the business is not putting your main income earner, the business, in jeopardy. That's the only caveat there, is if investing in something outside of the business, taking that money out of the business, is putting your main business at risk, then it's not the time to do it. And so you need to be evaluating that monthly, quarterly, annually as to whether or not you need to keep the cash in the business. There are times that I've invested where I've taken a lot of money out of the business, invested other places, and then things change in the main business and I go, okay, well, this year we're not going to take that out, or we're only going to take a lot less out because the business needs it to ensure that we're continuing to grow. Hope that's been helpful. If this has been a helpful episode for you, please share it with a friend, anyone that you know in your life who needs to hear it. Could be a parent, could be a sibling, could be a friend, or save it so you can listen to it again if it's been impactful for you. Also, if you have liked this episode and any previous episodes you've listened to, would love you to leave a review. Please leave a review. Go to your favorite podcasting platform, whether that be Spotify, whether that be Apple, wherever it is, and give us a rating. Let us know what you think. Honest review. Love to have that. So share with a friend and leave us a review. Until the next episode, keep up your journey. You've been listening to Entrepreneurs Rising. Thank you, dear listener, for tuning in. I appreciate your time and look forward to connecting in future episodes. If you would like show notes or any resources from today's episode, you can find them at rising.show. Rising.show. You can find show notes for this episode and all other episodes, as well as links to socials and the ability to reach out and connect with me, make your suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, keep up the journey.